Hey ladies, welcome to cycle 11, day 3. It was quick, right? Let me explain that. My last cycle only being about 23 days. So when I talked to you last, I had just got back to Orlando. I told you I was on my way to acupuncture, and that I was sick, and so she had decided to do like percussive cupping on my back. So basically what that is if you look up percussive cupping, you see people doing it like with their hands, and they're kind of just beating on your back. And what that does is it's supposed to guide the mucus to the larger airways so that you can get it up, right? So up and out. Instead of using her hands, she actually used the cups that's used in traditional cupping therapy, where basically she was sticking the cups to my back, pulling them off, sticking them up, pulling them off, sticking them up, pulling them up. So if you look up cupping therapy, you'll see people with like circle-ish bruises on them. Yes, I had bruises on my back. I still have bruises on my back, but they're lightening up, so they'll be gone maybe in a couple of days. But midway through the cupping, she asked me when my cycle was supposed to start, and that was cycle day 23. And so I didn't realize what day it was. I just knew it was about a week out from my cycle starting. So turns out that was cycle day 23. So I was about 5 days out, 5 or 6 days out. I could expect it on day 28, I guess. So 4 or 5 days. So she told me halfway through is that sometimes the cupping can make your cycle come sooner because of the way that it moves blood, right? And she was also, not only was she working on my back, but she was working on like my lower back. So she warned me, but she said, oh, well, if you're a week out, that should be far enough. I don't know if you can hear, but I still have a little bit of voice. I still have a bit of a cough. So I am still a little sick. That was Friday. Today's Monday. So yeah, so she warned me about that. I'm thinking, oh yeah, it should be fine. I've got, about a week or whatever. Come home, go to the bathroom, light spotting. I'm like, doggone it, I cannot win for losing. I'm tired. I've been sick all week. I was up all night. I just came in on an early morning flight. I'm sick. I just got beat up in acupuncture with this cupping. I gotta work that day and all weekend. And now I gotta deal with my cycle starting too. Perfect. This is like the best week ever. Said no one. She said sarcastically. So I'm thinking, I see the spotting and I'm just like, oh no. But it was like really light. It wasn't even pink. It was like just brown, like brownish. And I'm just thinking, okay, maybe this is because of the cupping. It'll go away. Later on that day, I had a little bit more spotting. Got a little pinkish. Then by that evening, it was clear. The next day was going to be my cycle day 1. So here we are, 5 days early, cycle day 1. There's also another problem with that, right? Because if you follow me on social media, I posted a post about not being excited or happy about where I am with my weight loss, where I am mentally, and just where I need to be before starting the IVF, right? And basically I said I was going to give myself the next 2 weeks to really focus on my weight, see where it is, and also focus on my mental. And that if my weight wasn't somewhere that I liked, and if my mental wasn't somewhere that I liked, and both had to be somewhere that I liked. Then I would push off IVF another 2 months to the next cycle, which would be July. Do I really want to push IVF off to July? I don't. But in reality, my weight has literally not moved. I am still, kind of like 250-ish. As a matter of fact, this morning, I weighed in. Sorry. Matter of fact, this morning I weighed in like 252.2. And, I still hadn't hit my own personal goal to get my BMI under 40. So, that alone, forget the doctor's goal, that alone was a reason for me to not, move forward with the May cycle. Now, add to that the fact that my cycle is 5 days early. It's like, I don't even have the full 2 weeks. So now I have to make a decision, right? Because cycle day started on Saturday. Today's Monday. Do I call the doc and tell them, hey, it's cycle day 1 was on Saturday. It's cycle day 3. What's up? Do I make that call? Do I just push off to July? I am back and forth with it. I'm so back and forth. And I found out today that I don't have to travel in May. So that kind of opens up the schedule to be a little less stressful for me to just go ahead and do a retrieval. So I think where I'm at right now is if I can do a retrieval, I'll do a retrieval. But I don't want to do a fresh transfer. Considering, you saw the video with my visit with that other doctor, my primary care physician. I am back on blood pressure meds. That blood work that he ordered, my A1C is still not great. My fasting glucose is high as well. So he's saying type 2 diabetic. I'm rebuking that devil. I want to say pre-diabetic. But in reality, I really need to drop maybe another 30 pounds before getting pregnant, considering that this is what's going on with my body right now. So, I don't mind taking the methyl-dopa. Might have to up my dosage a bit. But, with diet and exercise, I have noticed improvement. It's not going completely normal, but it does take some time. I've only been on it for 2 weeks now. We'll give it a month. And then I'll go back in and see if he wants to adjust my dosage or not. However, he did mention metformin, which I'm not excited about. So, my acupuncturist and I have been talking about metformin, if the doctor was going to mention metformin. And so she said, basically, she put me on something that does the same thing as metformin, but doesn't have the same side effects. So, what she had me get is a supplement. That's this here. This Pure Encapsulations Metabolic Extra. Okay? She was going to order this for me, have it drop shipped to me, but it was going to take too long. She found it on Amazon, and she said it was the same price. And, with the shipping, the only difference would be shipping and how fast I could get it. So, I'm not going to lie, this stuff isn't cheap. It's got 90 capsules, which if you take it 3 times a day, is a 30-day supply. This stuff costs about $50 for a 30-day supply. But if it works in bringing down my A1C and I don't have the horrible side effects as metformin, I'm all for it, I'm all for it. I will pay to not have to deal with those side effects. I will say that a lot of the worst side effect that I hear about metformin is basically the diarrhea. And even taking this, I've noticed, see on my channel, my stools are soft. I'm not going to call them loose. They are soft. So that makes me think that if I were to go on metformin, that I probably would have the diarrhea side effects, which I don't want. So, considering my sugars are a problem, I'm not in denial here. Not anymore, anyway. I think that if I can get my sugars under control, that will help greatly with my weight loss as well. I mean, I've been working really hard on the weight loss, and it's just really not been moving, and that probably has a lot to do with the insulin resistance and my high glucose and whatnot. So, if I can get that under control in the least bit, and then the weight should, like, literally fall off. So, that's really what I want to try out right now, which is what has me really contemplating pushing IVF off until July. But deep down inside, I really just want to get the embryos, right? I can wait on the transfer. I just want to get past the retrieval. But, April is a pretty hectic month. It's my birthday month. Traveling for work halfway through. There's work to do. Will it be stressful? I don't know. I don't want to be extrally stressed, while I go through this stemming process. Especially since I'm still going to be working on my weight and hoping I can still get that down during that time. So, I'm kind of at an impasse. So what I've done is I've called my RE's office and I've informed them that my next cycle has started. So receptionist called me back and said the doctor wants to see me. That's never a good thing, right? Doctor wants to see you. So I'm gearing up for the okie doke, right? But I don't want to say that it's the okie doke because I already have a plan in action. So a few things. I want to meet with the doctor too. I still need to have that conversation with him about how things went down with my pre-auth, right? So today is the 26th. My pre-auth is the 26th of March. My pre-auth officially expires on April 9th. Okay, so no matter what, they would have to do another pre-auth. I am still debating whether I want to tell him what I want to do or if I want to hear what he wants to do. I still need to have that conversation. So the next thing I'm debating is, do I have that conversation first or do I have that conversation after? I think I want to have it after because I don't want to jade his plan with me aggravating him. Which I'm sure what I'm going to say is going to aggravate him. But I need him to know that I know and that I'm not going to tolerate that behavior at all from him as my physician. I feel like this just got so much close on me. Okay, so I need him to know that I'm just not going to tolerate that behavior. So, the conversation will be had. So, they scheduled the appointment. The appointment is 3 days from now. So, it's on Thursday morning. Now, I am working my weight. I think I can get my weight in decent shape It's not going to be any pronounced loss, but, you know, it's a small step in the right direction. So, I think what I want to do is I just want to get the retrieval out of the way, because my weight has no bearing on egg quality. If I can keep my stress under control, then I have no problem with that. And then I want to get my embryos PGS tested. And while we wait on that, which means there'll be no fresh embryo transfer, that's if he's willing to move forward with the retrieval this May cycle. He may not be. I'm fine with that too. I just want to let you know. I am fine with that too. What that would mean is if we move to his July cycle, then I'll be doing a fresh embryo transfer in July. But yeah, I mean, I'm heavily debating this. You know, I want to make sure my blood pressure's under control before I do a transfer. I want to make sure the sugars are under control before a transfer, and I definitely want to drop some more weight before a transfer. So, what this means is I would have April, I would have May. The earliest I would do a transfer would probably be June. I probably wouldn't even do June. It'd probably end up being like July. So, I'd probably do a frozen transfer in either June or July. So that would give me 2 to 3 more months to drop 30 more pounds. And this time, no excuses. I just have to do it whether I like it or not. I just have to do it. Stress be damned. You know, it's kind of, you know, shit'll get off the pot now. That's where we are. So, given these other conditions, it's quite likely that I'll only be able to transfer 1 embryo. That's probably the safest thing to do. Even if he was willing to do 2, I don't know that I want to do 2. If my blood pressure continues to be a problem, if my sugars continue to be a problem, I don't want to have to deal with the high risk of 2 babies as well. That kind of sucks, but yeah. So if I'm only going to do 1 embryo, that's even more of a reason to make sure my embryos are PGS tested. So he hasn't mentioned anything about PGS testing, but that's what I want. Not just because I'm advanced maternal age, but also because I have a preference for gender. And I hate to say that because it almost makes it seem like I'm trying to do PGS testing so I can design my baby, right? But that's not the case, right? I did 3 rounds of IUI where there was no way possible to choose gender. So if I can have a sure thing, why not? You know, why not? I want to know what the gender is, and I want to know what I'm putting in there. And I also want to make sure I'm putting the best quality in there, because I have not had a BFP. So I don't know if not having a BFP is an implantation issue because of like my glucose levels, if it was because of my tubes, if it was because of timing, if it was because of a quality. Sorry guys, phone ringing. Cuts the video off. I wish I could just say when I'm doing a video to not make my phone ring. But anyway, yeah, so that's kind of where I am. You know, gonna have that conversation. Want to see what his plan is. I have a feeling he's probably going to give me a lecture about my A1C and my glucose, because my A1C was high. And even when I asked about my blood work, it was like, oh no, it's fine. To be quite honest, I don't think he looked at it. And the nurse just said, oh no, the blood work's fine. I don't know. And I didn't particularly care for the new receptionist either. She gave me a bit of static because I also needed to schedule my pap smear. And she was giving me all kinds of static with trying to schedule that. Oh, the system's down and I can't schedule it. Okay, you're calling me back because the doctor wants to see me. You can schedule that appointment, but your system's down and you can't schedule my pap smear? Okay, well, I know when I had my pap smear last year, it was on the 10th. Can you schedule it now? Oh, well, when you come in on Thursday, you can schedule it then. No. See, I want to get it on the books because by then, all his slots might be full. And I have to travel the next week. So I really just want to get this on the schedule. Well, okay, fine. What day do you want to come? Oh, now you can schedule. Like, I don't know. The girl gave me all kinds of static and attitude, and I'm not appreciating that. Like, I need him to get better receptionists. Like, they're horrible. Horrible. It's like a new person every time I go. He's really having a hard time keeping a good receptionist. But anyway, yeah, ladies, so this is where I am. I mean, there is a high probability that IVF stems may get pushed off to July while I continue to work on my weight and my blood pressure and my glucose levels with my primary care physician and my acupuncturist and whoever else I can get on board to try to work on getting this down. Hopefully he'll just agree to get the retrieval because my eggs are getting older. I just want to get the retrieval done. Let's just get the retrieval done, you know? And be done with that. And then, you know, we can talk about weight before transfer. I think that's a smart thing to do. You know, let's just get that out of the way. You know, insurance is going to pay for it. Let's just get it out of the way. Let's get the babies in the freezer. I want to get them tested anyway. So it's not like I'm going to get transferred right away. So I still have time, you know, to get down to what he wants. I just have to be super strict with myself. I am going to be miserable in the process. But it is something that I can do and can focus on. I've done it before. I just have to do it again to drop some more weight because, you know, you think even with, you know, dropping 20 pounds, things would be a little better. But I don't know. I think work is ruling my blood pressure. And I just need to get to a point where I just feel caught up with work. And I think my blood pressure will normalize. My sugars, on the other hand, are my sugars. I just need to work on that. You know, and sweets are not my problem. I wish sweets were my problem. Sweets are not my problem. Bread and pasta is my problem. Bread and pasta. It's sad, you know. Bread and pasta is my issue. I wish it was cakes and candies and pies and ice cream. It's not. I can't even tell you when the last time I had ice cream. Or, you know, cake. Like, I'm not even a cake fan. I'm more like a pie fan. But I wish it was desserts. It's not. It's not sugar. It's carb. Carbs, not sweets. It is bread and pasta. Bread and pasta. But, I don't think that I'm too bad with, you know, my breads and pastas. I am eating a lot more fruits. So, I guess that's a lot more natural sugars. But still, it's a problem. I don't know. I hope the supplement works and does the trick. And that it does the trick so well that the weight just falls off. And that's what I'm really hoping. So I don't know. The doctor's not having me. Maybe I'll go back in a month. Just for my blood pressure. The doctor's not exactly having me check my blood sugars every day. So that's probably the next step. I probably need to buy some materials to do that, even though the doctor hasn't asked me to do that yet. I don't know. I don't want to say this is unexpected, but I just feel like it's another thing that kind of makes me anxious about just trying to get this done. I want a healthy pregnancy. I don't want to wait another year or anything like that. I guess I just need to get this part under control, and then we just need to move forward. I think if I dropped probably another 30 pounds, the type 2 diabetes bit will go away. I'm almost sure of it. I don't know what's wrong with my body. I don't know what's wrong with it. Diabetes runs rampant in my family. And maybe I'm just getting old. And my body is saying, yeah, this is what happens when you get older. It's in your genes. I don't know. But, in a few days, I will have the tough discussion with the doc. And we all know that right there is going to be the dictator whether I move forward with him or not, and how we continue to move forward. I've already looked up like some other clinics, so this close to having my pap smear done. I'm gonna get my pap smear done no matter what. But if I decide I just don't want to move forward with him, then I'll get him to do my pap smear, or give him some time for my reports to come back, and then he'll get the request for my file, because I gotta be able to trust the doc, and I think he'll hear me. I'm not trying to go in there all combative or whatever. I just need him to hear me when I ask you a straight question, I expect a straight answer, and I don't feel like I got that. And if you're going to continue to be my physician, I need to be able to trust you. I don't, we are supposed to be making these decisions together. I don't need a doctor that has an ulterior motive. I don't need that. I need a doctor that's going to be straight with me. I'm a reasonable person, and I understand the science and the risks as well. And if I want something that you don't want to do, just say you don't want to do it. Don't beat around the bush. Don't keep moving the finish line. I'm not appreciating any of that. So, I'm going to try my best to at least get audio on that conversation so that you guys can hear me essentially rip him a new one, but so that you can get his reaction. So, I'm not going to tell him he's being recorded. It's not his face. I've never used his name. I've never used his face. So, It's not like anybody can pinpoint him, but, you know, I don't know. I'll see what I can get. But, it's kind of like a secret recording. But yeah, I really hope it goes well, you know. He's been my doctor for a long time. Nobody knows my uterus like he does, you know. He's literally held my uterus in his hands, you know. So, I like him. I want to be able to trust him. And that's the message I want to convey. I need to be able to trust you. I like you, and I need to be able to trust you as my physician. You know, if I can't trust you, then you cannot be my physician anymore for anything, you know, for this or anything. So I'm sure he wants to see my blood pressure. I'll get the lecture about my sugars. I'm sure I'll get a lecture about how my weight hasn't moved very much. But I'm going to let him give his lecture, and then I'm going to say my piece and see how it goes from there. Maybe it'll end up good. Maybe it won't. I don't know. I want to see what he has to say. But he needs to hear my piece. So we'll see how that goes. In the meantime, I've done very well with day 1 of this here diet that I'm back on. Officially day 1. So I've officially done well. I'm still doing all my regular plans, so I didn't get on the treadmill, so I'm going to do that this evening, so I can get my workout in and maximize weight loss between now and Thursday. And we'll see how it goes now that, you know, I've been on this supplement all week. I was able to get it before I went away. I don't know if it's working, how well it's working, or whatever. I do know that it does make me move my bowels more than I have been, so that's good. But hopefully, you know, it'll help, like, just the weight just come off. So, I don't know, ladies. You let me know. But this is where I am. It's cycle 11. Man, these cycles go quick. Man, they go quick. Cycle 11. That's where we are. I am feeling a little better. I'm not 100% yet, as you can hear in my coughs and in my voice. But hopefully with a little bit more rest. And also, I didn't mention that the acupuncturist gave me this herbal antibiotic. This here. Right? She has me taking this. So, I guess it's supposed to help me, you know, get over whatever I got going on quicker. I don't know if it's working or not. You know, my body's fighting it off the way it's fighting it off. But, you know, I'm just frustrated. I'm frustrated with my body right now. But I am trying my best to not be too hard on myself or on my body, and just try to do what I can to get as healthy as I can, so that I can push these babies out, you know what I mean? Alright, well, I will see you guys again on Thursday, which should be cycle day, that's 3 days from now, that should be cycle day 6. And I will fill you in on what has happened. So, in another few days, you'll know what's happened. Alright? So, Sticky Baby does to all those TTC. Bye!